Alright, Shalom. Once again, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Kodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect across the four corners of the earth in the sincere spirit of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Alright, so I just wanted to bring this out, read the article on this. This is the final call, June 25th, 2019 issue of the final call. And it's entitled Wars and Rumors of Wars. So this is a newspaper put out by the Nation of Islam, led by Minister or Louis Farrakhan. I'm not even gonna call him a minister because he's a false prophet. He's not honorable. He's dishonorable, and he's no minister. He's a false prophet. All right, because the truth is not in Islam at all. No branch of Islam, Sunni, Muslim, Shiite, whatever you call it, whatever, however you want to look at it. The truth is not in Islam, and this is further proof that the truth is in the scriptures, because the title of it is what? Wars and Rumors of Wars. Well, where did this come from? Matthew chapter 24 and 6, if I'm not mistaken. All right, which Wars and Rumors of Wars was one of the things that Yahweh Shah prophesied would be in the earth as a sign of the end days. All right, and here it is, straightforward, man. It's on newspaper articles. All right, and you know the title, the name of this newspaper is called The Final Call, which the real final call is happening in the streets, man, with the men of the Lord, the Hebrew Israelites. All right, so this is Joel chapter 2. I'm gonna read Joel chapter 2 real quick. Salah, grab it. Joel chapter 2 verse 1. It says, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion," not all nations, Zion being the nickname of the holy city of Jerusalem, which is a people before it's a place, the people of Israel. All right, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and the trumpet is being blown on the highways and byways. All right, through the Hebrew Israelites, beginning with the apostles of Great Millstone. All right, the truth being pushed out in sound doctrine. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. See, so this truth is not for all nations. All right, and you know what is the trumpet? What is the alarm? It's a warning. All right, this truth. This truth, which is the gospel, the good news about the kingdom, Yahweh Shah making his second return, is also bad news, and it's a warning coming. All right, for Israel to repent. All right, and for the heathen nations to prepare to go into slavery and be slaughtered off, man. World War III, martial law. All right, thermonuclear bombs being shot off. Okay, mass rape, robbery, and murder. Okay. Is about to go down. So that's the trumpet. The trumpet will always be blown before any type of invasion or any type of outside threat will actually get close enough to cause any damage. So it says, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand." It is near, and this is proof right here, man. Okay. You got the big names being mentioned in the news on a daily basis, man. Russia making moves towards Cuba. All right, that's Gog and Magog in the scriptures, code name. Okay. Iran, that's Persia in the scriptures, code name. Okay. So these are big names as far as some of the main prophecies that need to take place. The before Yahweh Shah can make his second return. So I'm gonna read the article. It says, "Is U.S. marching steadily to war with Iran?" It says President Donald J. Trump seems to want war with Iran. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is beating the drum for war with Iran. National Security Advisor John Bolton is itching for war with Iran. Together, they are orchestrating an all too familiar scenario to justify the use of U.S. military force against the Islamic Republic. In 1846, U.S. forces falsely claimed they were attacked by Mexican forces inside U.S. territory. In retaliation, the U.S. launched the Mexican-American War, seizing land from New Mexico to California, to Colorado, even to Utah. Have we forgotten the suspicious sinking of the USS Maine, the Navy ship which went down in the Havana Harbor in 1898, dragging the U.S. into the Spanish-American War? In 1962, a Pentagon plan called Operation Northwoods was hatched for the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, to commit acts of terrorism against U.S. civilians, to be blamed on Cuba in order to justify an invasion of that country. In 1964, the White House committed material misrepresentations of the truth of what was known as the Gulf of Tonkin incident in order to goad Congress into authorizing war with Vietnam. And of course, the convincing dramatization of yellow cake uranium and non-existent weapons of mass destruction were used to justify the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003. The Trump administration is now stoking fear of a potential conflict with Iran. Salaki, I'm going to the next page. It says, the president withdrew from the landmark Iran nuclear deal, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, in May 2018. More recently, National Security Advisor John Bolton asked the Pentagon to provide the White House with military options to strike Iran. In the latest incident, the Secretary of State said Iran was behind the attacks on 2 oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman June 13, implicating the nation in the second set of attacks on tankers in the region in 2 months. U.S. Central Command even released a video, it says, shows Iran removing an unexploded mine from one of the tankers it's accused of attacking. But the Japanese owner of the ship that was damaged denied that it was struck by mines, as the U.S. claims, insisted instead that it was hit by flying objects. Yutaka Katada, president of the Kokuka Sangyo shipping firm that owns the Kokuga Courageous tanker, told reporters in Tokyo June 14th the crew are saying it was hit with a flying object. They say something came flying toward them, then there was an explosion, then there was a hole in the vessel. Then some crew witnessed a second shot. Iranian Foreign Minister Muhammad Javad Zarif said the United States had immediately jumped to make allegations against Iran without a shred of factual or circumstantial evidence. And he accused the Trump White House of economic terrorism and sabotage diplomacy, according to published reporters. So it's apparent that the United States is trying to execute a false flag operation and to throw dust in the eyes of international communities and make the international community feel that the Iranians are the aggressors, when in fact it's Washington that's the aggressor. Dr. General Horn, professor of history and African American studies at the University of Houston, said in an interview the U.S. lust for war is because U.S. interests and allies are suffering, while Iran is making gains in the region. According to Dr. Horn, the U.S. invasion of Iraq has made that country even more dependent on Iran for everything from electricity to security. And U.S. ally Saudi Arabia is fighting a costly and bloody war against rebels in Yemen who enjoy Iranian support. Interestingly enough, because of Mr. Trump pulling out of the Iranian nuclear deal, the EU, Germany, Britain, and France are trying to set up a special purpose vehicle to circumvent U.S. sanctions, Dr. Horn said, which will then be a threat to the dollar, which is now under siege not only because of the EU, but also because of Russia and China preparing to conduct trade without the dollar. A war Mr. Trump may be estimating could rescue him politically and inject more money into the Pentagon. The U.S. war strategy was revealed by Reps. Alyssa Slotkin and Tulsi Gabbard after a House Armed Service Committee meeting and confirmed to the Intercept by Representative Gabbard. We were all in that meeting with Pompeo where those statements were made, Ms. Gabbard said. The Trump administration is prepared to wage the war against Iran without congressional authorization, based on the notion that the authorization for the use of military force approved by Congress in 2001 after 9/11 can be applied to Iran through that country's purported links to Al-Qaeda. Democratic House members and senators and a host of presidential candidates condemned the president's saber rattling. If the administration wants to go to war against Iran, then the Constitution requires them to come to Congress to ask for an authorization for the use of military force. Senator Elizabeth Warren, a presidential candidate, told reporters, "This is constitutional law 101, that it is Congress, not the president, that declares war." And that's the scripture, the king's heart shall be in the hands of the Lord, roughly paraphrasing. Senator Warren, a former law professor, continued, we would have to have a debate on the floor of the Senate, and if the administration doesn't believe that they can withstand a debate, then they shouldn't be aiming themselves toward war. President Trump told an interviewer on June 13th that Iran did do it. In response, presidential candidate and Senator Bernie Sanders told reporters attacks on oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman are unacceptable and must be fully investigated. But this incident must not be used as a pretext for a war with Iran, a war which would be an unmitigated disaster for the United States, Iran, the region, and the world. The time is now for the United States to exert international leadership and bring the countries in the region together to forge a diplomatic solution to growing tensions. I will also remind President Trump that there is no congressional authorization for a war with Iran. An unadulterated U.S. attack on Iran would be illegal and unconstitutional, which that's not going to happen. Sanders said the time is now for the United States to exert international leadership and bring the countries in the region together to forge a diplomatic solution to the growing tensions. There ain't gonna be no fucking diplomatic solution to the growing tensions. The tensions gonna keep rising, all right? Because the scriptures say what? The Lord is the host of the battle, all right? I wouldn't be surprised if the Lord got chariots fucking blowing different shit up, and the government trying to cover it up by blaming it on different countries because they want to go to war with them anyway. But really what it was that's blowing shit up, that's starting these fucking, help build these tensions. The chariots blowing shit up, because it said what, flying objects. It didn't say airplanes. All right, that was just kind of like weird to me. I'm not saying that is what's going on, but what the scriptures do say, the Lord is the host of the battle. The Lord muster up the host of the battle. All right, meaning what? The Lord is the one that's setting things up that has World War III tensions rising as fast as they are, as much as they are, and for what? For the Lord's plan to destroy this place, to bring Esau out of rulership, so Yahweh Shah could make his second return and establish the kingdom, man. All right, so with that, I'm going to say Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, that will honor to the apostles of Great Millstone. And that's that.